Ezra Levant here for Rebel News. I'm standing, as you can see, outside the Westminster Magistrates Court. There's quite a large crowd here behind me. Tommy Robinson in an enormous scrum. There's got to be at least 25 journalists there. Many of them are citizen journalists, but I think actually Tommy has accosted a regime journalist there and is grilling them. I can't make my way to the center, but it's enormous. Let me just tell you the headline news. Tommy Robinson acquitted under the Terrorism Act. That's the most important part of this story. And police officers like that lady there will have to now focus on actual crime instead of going after political activists. And that's an important ruling today. This judge, Sam Guzzi is his name, was absolutely brutal in how he described the police. You may recall, if you watched my live tweeting from the trial a few weeks ago, that the police forgot what they asked. They didn't keep their notes. Oh, my notes were destroyed. And they were very evasive and vague. And the judge said that that's simply, oh, here's a walking scrum. Let's see if we can see what's going on. You know, it's mayhem and madness whenever the lad goes out. The judge was absolutely brutal. He said that the police were unreliable and lacked credibility. He said that he was worried that the preponderant reason why Tommy was arrested and prosecuted was not anything he did that could be called terror. There goes the man himself, surrounded by security disadvantage. The judge said he acquitted for two reasons. Number one, that he could not separate the politics from what the police did. There was no evidence that they arrested him or stopped him for any suspicion of terrorism, but rather that 10 years ago he was with a political movement called the EDL, or the English Defense League. The judge says that's a protected characteristic. You can't target someone because of their religion or because of their politics. If that moves into terrorist activity, fine, says the judge. But there was no evidence whatsoever of that happening. It was actually quite a blistering takedown. The judge went through each of the police officer witnesses and essentially said, I don't believe them. They are not credible. Imagine that. And again, the British government has spent literally millions of dollars on their vendetta against, in fact, I counted, in addition to the 12 regime journalists in the courthouse today, there were 12 lawyers in there. 12, 11 or 12. I mean, just think about the amount of money spent on that. Anyways, I'm going to sign off now and put together a longer piece, but here's the headline. Tommy Robinson acquitted of all charges. The police were scorched by the judge for their lack of credibility and for targeting Tommy with a political vendetta. It's not me who said that, that's the judge. For more on this, go to TommyTrial.com. And if you want to support my citizen journalism, you can do so there. There's a real difference between how citizen journalists approach this story and how regime journalists approach the story. And by the way, if the only information you have on this case was what you read on the BBC or the Daily Mail, you would be shocked that he was acquitted, because you would say for sure he was guilty, because you would only be hearing from anti-Tommy Robinson partisans. I think one of the lessons of this whole trial was the independent media has to be given more access to the courts to undo the damage of the regime.